Hey there, today we had our Advanced One McKeever Real Estate ZOOM office meeting, and a segment of that meeting was a gentleman from IPX 1031 Exchange who came on to discuss the recent changes of the 1031 Exchange program. If you are a landlord, if you own a rental properties, if you have a new construction that you think you are about to exchange into another property this year, you should watch this video because the IRS just made some recent changes that could help you in that process. So thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully this helps. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Money. The 1031 exchange allows you to go buy another piece of investment property or multiple anywhere in the United States, and you don't have to pay a dime in taxes. This is a huge wealth building tool for real estate. If you don't know about it, when times are normal, let me talk to you about it. I'm happy to help. But for right now, let me just show you how it plays out and what changed. So let's just say you threw out a farm and you sent the message, right? Tired of tenants, trash, toilets, termites, taxes, like to increase cash flow, relocate the property, get rid of deferred maintenance. I have an answer for you. Sell this property, unlock the equity, pay no taxes, buy something else. Somebody calls you, you list the property, it goes out on the market, somebody puts an offer on the property, it goes into contract, you open up escrow. I believe Chicago Title does that, right, Jeff? You can just nod, okay, or do that. And then you open up the 1031 exchange account. The exchange account must be set up prior to the close of escrow because the seller cannot touch the money. That is what we do. We create the legal documents, we hold the proceeds, we make sure you adhere to the code. So in that example, sell for $500,000, goes into contract, open up escrow, open up 1031 exchange account, close of escrow occurs, then the proceeds go into the 1031 exchange account. If it's free and clear, all the money's going in there. If there's a loan, the loans get paid off and the remainder goes in there. Then the clock starts ticking. You only have 45 days to identify what you're going to buy and a total of 180 days to close on what you identify. These timeframes are silly. There's no reasoning behind it except the IRS wants you to fail. They give you only 45 days because it's not much time to find certain property in areas where no inventory exists. Well, what if you were doing a 1031 exchange and you closed escrow, I don't know, the end of February, and all of a sudden it's March 16th and you're looking for property? How many properties could you see March 16th, 18th, 20th, 20th? It's difficult. We all agree. So when the coronavirus started hitting the US, we already were talking to the IRS. Okay, where's the extension? What's going to happen? Because if you look at it historically, for disasters that we've seen, like fires, like earthquakes, like hurricanes, like things of that nature, there's always been an extension. And we were like, what's going on? How come you haven't done it? How come you haven't done it? And it actually took a little bit too long. And we put together a coalition of real estate professionals that address the IRS directly. And we said, look, this is why we need it. This is why it has to be in place. We have people right now that can't find properties. And for commercial transactions, they couldn't even get lending for certain properties that they're looking to acquire. And for residential transactions, it was appraisals and inspections. And you guys are all familiar with this. So finally, about 11 days ago, the IRS says, okay, we're going to address this. And that was Thursday. And then the Friday, they said, okay, we're working on this. We're working with you to come up with something. On April 9th, at about 4:30, they came out with extensions on the timeframes for the 1031 exchange. So like I mentioned earlier, in a regular 1031 exchange, you have 45 days to identify what you're going to buy. No extensions. And 180 days to close on what you identify. No extensions. Unless there is a natural disaster or some terrorist act. Clearly, this pandemic, which encompasses the entire globe, qualifies. So they issued the following extensions. If your 45th day lands after April 1st, you are automatically extended all the way out to July 15th. So this gives you a tremendous amount of time to identify replacement property. You can change, rearrange, do whatever you want, but by midnight, July 15th, you need to identify to us in writing. You could do it obviously earlier, but that's the extension on the 45-day identification period. Now, the 180-day period was also extended out to July 15th, meaning if I needed to close on something, I don't know, April 20th, and for whatever reason, maybe it was new construction, right? And they couldn't complete the project, or maybe the due diligence wasn't completed, or maybe whatever the reason is right now, because there's a couple of reasons that things could just not make that transaction happen. They've extended the 180-day period out to day 180. Now, that means if I closed escrow on February 16th of a property that I was selling that was in a 1031 exchange, I'm going to be extended out to July 15th. That also means, and this is unprecedented, that if I close escrow on a property today, for example, we're April 15th, the 45th day would be what, May 31st?
Mm-hmm.
We're automatically extended out to July 15th as well. So this is not for people that experienced it. This is ongoing. But I think there's a different opportunity out there as well. For any sellers that you guys have of investment property that were considering the exchange and said, you know what, I'm not doing this, you might want to revisit them and say there's extensions in place. Instead of just taking the cash and cashing out, or instead of maybe not listing the property, let's reconsider that. And you can hop on a call with me, and I'm more than happy to explain in depth what's going on and what may come down the line in terms of extensions and more disaster relief, which I think we truly deserve. Anybody have any questions for Jeff or myself? David, Richard, Catherine, anybody?
Yeah, just to clarify, somebody could essentially list April 30th and still have until July 15th to identify a property?
That is correct. So
Okay.
the extension that's in place, we don't believe they're going to change. What we've seen in the past for the fires that we received, that we had in Northern California a couple of years back, they had the initial disaster relief, but the fires kept spreading and changing, and they had additional disaster relief that came with it. We believe with COVID-19, we're going to see the same thing. I think that because it's global and there's so many things on their plate, that's why it's taking longer than usual to respond. I mean, this is unprecedented. I think
James said something super important, and hopefully you guys picked up on it. You know, if you know anybody that owns rental properties, any investors, this is a perfect reason to pick up the phone, touch base with them, give them a call, give them an update, you know, educate them on what's going on, because you never know. They could be thinking of selling. They maybe have been thought about selling in 2020, but now put it off because of this whole thing. So if you educate them on what this new information is, you become the source of knowledge and information. So it just gives you a reason to pick up the phone, you know.
And David, I'll take it one step further. What I'll do is we'll send you the PDF that we came up with that gives a brief summary of what just happened, and it also has hyperlinks that they can use. I always think that it's great to reach out to your clients adding value, and who knows, they might be ready and you're calling at the right time, or they may want to know, or they're interested right when shelter in place is lifted to list their property, and this could be a great way to strategize the sale of this asset, the purchase of another one, or what have you. So I'm more than happy to send you a PDF, and you can distribute it to everybody here. And if anybody wants to be added onto my distribution list, just give me your email address and whatever, and we'll have great information coming up. God, every month now, it seems like almost every week with the new changes that keep on happening.
Yeah, if you could send it out to Richard and I, and we'll distribute it to the office, and we'll upload it to our internal Facebook group page as well, and just get it out to everybody.
Happy to do so.
We'll post it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Both Jeff and James, thank you.
Jeff, you got anything to add? Or I don't know if you wanted to say anything before we turn it over to Catherine.
Oh, no, I just wanted to thank you for the opportunity, and I know my audio on my computer is terrible. So I'll let you get on with your meeting. Thanks for joining, James, and I'll see you guys later.
All right. Thank you, too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, James. Thanks, Jeff.
You're welcome. Stay safe.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.